So, this is a major theory, lecture 1. So, let us start with some definitions. Okay, before that, Lebesgue major or Lebesgue major. Henri Lebesgue was a French mathematician. So, this is a Henri Lebesgue. He was a French mathematician. Okay, during this year, June 28, 1875 to July 26, 1941. Okay, so he introduced Lebesgue major or Lebesgue major in 1902 in his PhD thesis. Okay, so let us start with some of the definition. So we have seen like who introduced this Lebesgue major or Lebesgue major. Okay. Now, what is so this is the first chapter, major theory, right? Let us start with the definition first. Extended real number system. Now, what is an extended real number system? The extended real number system consists of, now this extended real number system consists of reals. So basically it consists of reals and symbols. Now this minus infinity and infinity, they are the symbols, right? Okay. So it consists of reals and symbols, that is minus infinity and infinity. R union, R is what? Real. And this union of this set minus infinity and infinity is called extended real number system. Now R is equal to set of real number is the collection of irrational and rationals, right? So, and again if we add two symbols, and if we add these two symbols to it, what will happen is R union minus infinity comma infinity, this particular set is called extended real number system. So what we are going to get? Extended real number system. If we add two symbols to this, we are going to get extended real number system. So you all have to know the definition of the extended real number system. Okay. Next is length of interval. Length of an interval is difference between its endpoints. Okay, so let us assume, okay, let us suppose this is an interval. Okay, I is equal to a comma b. Suppose this is an interval. Okay, and these two are the endpoints. Okay, and these two are the endpoints. Now length of an interval is denoted by L of I. Okay, and difference between its endpoint is what? B minus A. Okay, suppose if I draw a number line, okay, this part is important. So suppose if I draw a number line, so this is my A, this is my B. So the difference between its endpoint will be B minus A. Okay, next is measure. Now we need to know what is a measure. So first I will be reading what is measure. Okay, let us see. Let C be a collection of sets. Okay, let this C be the collection of this particular set. Okay, let me rub this. Okay, of real numbers. Let C be the collection of sets of real numbers. Define a set function M from C tending to R plus. Let E belongs to C, then M of E is called measure of E if following conditions are satisfied. So there are some conditions which are given, and if the conditions are satisfied, then you can say it is a measure of E. But before that, let me explain you all. So here the set function, this set function is a function in which the domain is a collection of sets. Okay, here m of a is what? It is a set function, and c is what itself? It is given collection of sets. Okay, so c is nothing but collection of sets, and this is nothing but set function. And this R plus is what? Set of positive reals. Positive reals. Let E belongs to C, then M of E is called measure of E if the following conditions are satisfied. Okay? So let me rub this part. So these are the following conditions which where it should satisfy. So this condition should satisfy. Okay. First condition is M of E, that means measure of E, that is measure of E is defined for each set E of real numbers. Second condition is M of I, this is nothing but measure of I is equal to length of I, L of I. For an interval I, third condition is M is a countably additive, that is if En is a sequence of disjoint set, then this will happen. So basically that is this should if this is a sequence of disjoint set, then M of measure of union of n is equal to 1 to infinity En is equal to summation of n is equal to 1 to infinity n of En. That is measure of each set En. So let us see to the fourth condition. M is translation invariant, that is M of E plus Y is equal to ME, where E plus Y is equal to set of X plus Y where X belongs to E. This is the fourth condition, and all these four conditions should satisfy. Okay. Now Lebesgue outer measure. Lebesgue outer measure. The Lebesgue outer measure or outer measure of a set A is denoted by M star of A. Okay, the Lebesgue outer measure, this Lebesgue outer measure or outer measure of a set of set A is denoted by outer measure of A, M star of A. Okay, so how we denote what is measure of A? This is just a measure of A. This will be Lebesgue outer measure of A or outer measure of A. This, okay, outer measure. This star we denote it as outer measure, outer. Okay. So n is defined by M star of A is equal to what? This is outer measure of A is equal to infimum of summation of L of In, where infimum is taken overall the finite or countable collection of interval ions such that A is a subset of union of ion. So you will have to know this definition. Next are some of the properties. So let me prove. So these are the properties which I will be proving. First property is outer measure of A is greater than or equal to 0. Second property is outer measure of outer measure of empty set is equal to 0. Outer measure of A is less than or equal to outer measure of B if A is a subset of B. Fourth property is M star of X. That means outer measure of X is equal to 0 for all X belonging to R, which is real. Okay. So now these are the four properties which I will be proving. So let me prove the first property. So let me prove the first one. This is the first property, that is M star of A is outer measure of A is greater than or equal to 0. So let us consider first, let A be any non-empty subset of I, and In is the collection of intervals which covers A. Therefore, length of In is greater than or equal to 0. So taking infimum, it implies that infimum of summation of length of In, length of interval which is greater than or equal to 0. Now since In covers A, therefore infimum of summation of L of In is equal implies what? M star of A is greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So we have proved the first property. Now we will be proving the second one. Okay, that second property is what? Yeah, M star of this is what? Outer measure of an empty set is equal to 0. We will be proving this. Okay. So let us start with the proof. So let A be any real number, then the set A is equal to A comma A. Therefore, this is the length of an interval A is equal to, how we do length of an interval? I have already given you all the definition of that. It is the difference between the two endpoints. That is, so here difference between the 2 points is what? A minus A is equal to 0. And let In be a collection, and In be the collection of intervals which covers A. So M star of A, this is the outer measure of A, is equal to what? Summation of length of In which is equal to 0. So since A is an empty set, M star of phi will replace A by phi which is equal to 0. Okay. So we are done with the second proof as well. Now we will be doing the third one. Okay. Now I will be proving the third property. This one, the third one. M star of A is less than or equal to, outer measure of A is less than or equal to outer measure of B if A is a subset of B. So proof is here, let A be the subset of B. Now next step is let Ij be a collection of intervals which covers A. And Ik be a collection of interval which covers B. So here this Ij is a collection of interval which covers A. Okay. And Ik, here this Ik be a collection of interval which covers B. So here Ik will cover B and this Ij will cover A. Okay. Now next I'll turn the page and I'll continue on the next page. Subset of union of Ij and B is a subset of union of Ik. Now since A is a subset of B, it implies that union of Ij is a subset of union of Ik. Now this implies that summation of length of Ij is less than or equal to summation of length of Ik. And this implies so taking infimum on both the side, infimum of summation of length of it is length of what it is length of Ij. Length of Ij is less than or equal to infimum of summation of length of Ik. Now, by definition, this implies that outer measure of A is less than or equal to outer measure of B. Hence, M star of A is less than or equal to M star of B. Outer measure of A is less than or equal to outer measure of B if A is a subset of B. So we have proved the third property. Now we will be proving the fourth property. So I hope you all know how you all got this, right? By definition, meaning I have given you all the definition of an outer measure from that, okay? Next is the fourth property. Now we will be proving we have proved the first, second, third property. Now we will be proving the fourth property. That is M star of x is equal to 0 for all x belongs to R, okay? So let us prove the fourth one. Let A is equal to singleton set. Here x is any real number. We will show that M star of A, this is the outer measure of A, is equal to 0. Now what we have to do is we have to consider a collection In which covers A. Which covers A. In is equal to, okay, this let me write it on the next page, okay, this part. So In is equal to interval x comma x plus 1 by n. Now length of In is what? Difference between the two endpoints. Okay, so here are my two endpoints, and length of In is always difference between two endpoints. That is nothing but x plus 1 by n minus x, which is nothing but x will get cancelled, so obviously it will be 1 by n. Now outer measure of A is nothing but, okay, let me write this on the next page only. Now outer measure of A is equal to infimum of summation of length of In, which is equal to infimum of summation of 1 by n. So what is my length of In? What I got is nothing but 1 by n, okay? Now outer measure, this definition you all know, infimum, this is equal to infimum of summation of L of In. Now what is mole of iron is nothing but 1 by n, okay, from here. So infimum of summation of 1 by n. Now this is nothing but equal to infimum of 0, which is nothing but equal to 0. So therefore m star, this outer measure of this x, measure of x is equal to 0. Hence all the four properties have been proved, okay. So I think that has been understood, okay. Now next is, now I will be proving the translation invariant. Let us see the statement. For any set A, then m star of A, this is the outer measure of A, is equal to outer measure of A plus x, where A plus x is equal to set of y plus x, where y belongs to A. Or it can be asked as, show that the Lebesgue measure is translation invariant, okay. So basically what I am going to prove is to prove that m star of A, this is the outer measure of A, is equal to outer measure of A plus x, okay. So let us start with the proof. Let A be any outer measurable set. A be any outer measurable set for each, therefore for each epsilon greater than 0, there exists a collection of sets In which covers A. So this In is what? Collection of set which covers A. Which covers A. Okay, next, A is a subset of In, therefore outer measure of this A plus epsilon is greater than or equal to, wait on here, I think this is, A is a subset of union of all interval In, okay. So of A plus epsilon is greater than or equal to summation of length of In, okay. Now take this as 1. Since A is a subset of union of In, A plus x, therefore A plus x is a subset of union of In plus x, okay. Next line I'll write on the next page. Therefore m star of A plus x, so outer measure of this A plus x is equal to infimum of summation of length of In plus x. So we have used a definition of an outer measure, right. Now this is less than or equal to summation of length of In plus x. Again this is less than or equal to summation of length of In, okay. Now this is less than or equal to what? Outer measure of A plus epsilon, okay, by 1. So okay, this part let me explain you all how I got this. So what is this is less than or equal to summation of length of In. Now what is summation of length of In over here? Summation of length of In is less than or equal to this m star of A plus epsilon, That's what I have written it over here. So this is less than or equal to outer measure of A plus epsilon by 1. Okay. So this we got it from this one. Okay. So next I'll write it on the next page. So since epsilon is arbitrary, so let epsilon tends to 0. If epsilon tends to 0, what I'm going to get is, if this epsilon tends to 0, then I will get m star of A plus x is less than or equal to m star of A. That is outer measure of A plus x is less than or equal to outer measure of A, and take this as 2. Also A can be written as A is equal to A plus x minus x. So I'll turn the, what I have done over here is m star of A. Okay, from here you all can say m star of A, that is outer measure of this A, is equal to outer measure of A plus x minus outer measure of this x. Okay, so outer measure of A is less than or equal to outer measure of A plus x minus outer measure of x. Now this is therefore you all can take down this m star of A is less than or equal to m star of A plus x minus 0 by the property of outer measure. Outer measure of any real number is 0, right? Here. Which property it is? So it is this fourth property. M star of x is equal to 0, and which we have already proved. So okay. Now this implies what? M star of A, that is outer measure of A, is less than or equal to outer measure of A plus x, and take this as third one. Okay. And which one was the second one? Here it is second one, here it is third one, right? So m star of A is less than or equal to outer measure of A plus x. Okay. So now this is m star of A is equal to m star of A plus x. From this I got from where? From 2 and 3. See, here it is what? M star of A is less than or equal to m star of A plus x. And here it is m star of A plus x is less than or equal to m star of A is greater than or equal to this particular thing, right? And here m star of A is less than this. So from 2 and 3, what I get? M star of A, that is outer measure of A, is equal to outer measure of A plus x. Now this implies what? Now this implies the outer measure is translation invariant. So with this, I'll end up my today's lecture over here only, and in the next lecture I will be giving you all more theorems and more proofs. Okay, and thanks for watching.